Hello again. Now, if you've been following this series from the beginning, you may remember that when the van arrived, the back brakes were totally seized. You can see in the video here that they wouldn't turn even under the weight of the whole van pushing back on them. And it's now time for me to address that problem. Now, normally what I do when there's something technical that needs to get done is I go straight to YouTube, watch 3 or 4 videos on it, and then attempt to do it myself. But I couldn't really find much material on YouTube. So this video is going to be a little bit different from the other ones I've been doing, in that I'm hoping that I can actually do this video in a way that it could be instructional for anyone else who has to unseize the brakes of a Mercedes 508D. Now, in doing so, I won't waste too much time on the obvious stuff. Like, obviously, you have to jack the vehicle up, you have to take the wheels off, all that kind of stuff. Keep it safe. I will be spending much more time on the details on what you actually have to do. I will just quickly point out that when you're taking the wheels off, behind each of the wheel bolts, wheel nuts, there is a centering ring, and between the drum and the first wheel there are tensioning rings, so be aware of that. Take them off, put them somewhere safe, replace them if they need to be replaced. Now, I know that my wheels are really badly seized, so I'm going to remove the outer bearing. The outer bearing is what keeps the drum attached to the axle. So removing that bearing means I might be able to shake the drum, hit it with the hammer, get some movement, and hopefully get this wheel unseized. I am just unseizing these brakes. I'm not going to be taking the drum off at this point. I'm going to get the wheels moving and then I have to move the vehicle. But at a later stage I will be doing this again and taking the drums off so that I can inspect what's behind there, dismantle what needs to be dismantled so I can clean everything up, replace whatever needs to be replaced. And if that's what you are doing, then you will have to follow these first few steps, getting the front bearing out and backing off the adjuster. So the half shaft comes out after undoing the 6 17mm nuts that hold it. Behind each of those nuts is a spring washer, so don't lose those. Next come the 2 outer wheel bearing lock nuts. Now, these have a locking plate in between them, otherwise known as a crown ring, with a little metal tab which is bent over to lock the outer nut in position. So next task is to find which of the little grooves in the outer lock nut has that little tab bent over into it, and unbend the tab. Now, my tab actually broke off when I did this, so I'll be replacing the crown rings, but that's something you should probably replace anyway. Now, if you're looking for these kind of parts, then I would recommend an outlet in the UK called Dudo Parts, and I will put a link in the description of this video. They've got really good customer service. There is a special tool that exists to get these locking nuts off, but I found that these ones actually were not so tight and came off with just a little bit of a tap with a hammer and a big screwdriver. And I'll be putting them back on in the same way, just for me to be able to move the vehicle. So temporarily. However, when I do overhaul the brakes properly, I will be putting these back in and getting them up to the right torque. And that means I'm going to have to make a special tool. But with the outer lock nut removed, then it's time to take the crown ring off, and then undo and remove the inner locking nut in the same way. Next up is the big washer, which is a bit fiddly to get out, but with a couple of screwdrivers it comes out okay. And next comes the bearing itself. Now it's quite tightly squeezed in there by those locking nuts, so it's time to grab a big hammer and let the drum know that you're serious, and it will release the bearing, or at least it did with both of mine. I should go without saying that you have to make sure the handbrake is off and there's plenty of slack in the handbrake cables, and it's time to get in behind the wheel. In the back plate you'll see there are 3 holes, one at the bottom which is access to the adjuster, and then one on each side which are viewing ports, so you can actually check from behind how much of the brake pad is remaining. All 3 of these holes should be covered with one of these little rubber protective covers which come off easily with just your fingers. So now you have to back off or loosen the adjusters, which you get to through that little hole at the bottom of the back plate, and I used a big screwdriver. There is also a special tool for this, which is basically like a screwdriver with a little bit of a bend on the end of it, but a screwdriver will do the job. Now here is what the adjuster itself looks like. And in the picture, the adjuster is in the loosened off position. This is where you want it to be. But looking through the little hole on the back of the plate, you'll be able to see, if it's not fully loosened off, you will see threads showing here. And on the left hand side of the vehicle, you adjust that brass ring downwards. Whereas on the right side of the vehicle, you adjust the brass ring upwards. That is, of course, assuming that they turn at all, and both of mine were completely seized solid. Now, I sprayed some lubricant in there several times a day over several days, and one of them, the one on the left hand side, actually did start to turn. I used WD-40, but I've since learned that that was not the best idea. Brake cleaner is better. WD-40 apparently is not good for the brake shoes. But on the right hand side, the adjuster still wouldn't budge, so it's time to bring out the big guns. The air hammer. I modified one of the air hammer attachments to fit through the hole on the back of the plate and to kind of locate on the lugs of those brass wheels. Now, I wouldn't recommend this except as an absolute last resort. It did work. The adjuster then started turning and I was able to adjust it all the way off, but I've damaged the adjuster a bit in the process. I think I've knocked off one of the teeth off of that brass ring, so that's going to have to get replaced at some point. So with the adjuster adjusted off and the end bearing out, all it should take in theory is some vibration and some movement to get this drum moving again. But not in my case. So get a bit more leverage, put the wheel back on. And get a bigger hammer. Switch the wheel outwards so that it would get even more leverage. And I finally started getting some movement into this thing. Now, while it was wobbling there, the drum on the end of the axle, it still would not rotate at all, so the brake shoes are obviously still stuck to the inside of the brake drum. At this point, I went and did all this same stuff to the other side and got to the same point. Both wheels are just as jammed. I asked the advice of an old school mechanic that I know who used to work on these vehicles back in the day, and he straight away said, steam. Absolute game changer. Okay, but maybe it was a fluke. Only one way to find out. Across to the other wheel. Steam is definitely the answer. So now I can get this all put back together so that I can move the van. Now I will be detailing the process of putting it all back together in a later video when I actually overhaul the brakes completely. There'll be the torque settings and all that kind of stuff. And of course, depending on when you're watching this, you may already be in the future. So just have a look through the titles of my videos. I'll make it clear in the title which video you're looking for. As you see, I did go ahead and make the special tool for the lock nuts, and I'll mention that in my next video, which will be back to my normal format. As I said at the beginning, I wanted to make a kind of video that I was looking for when I started this whole thing. So I hope this helps somebody out.